You're listening to the Main Street Deal, part of Main Street Media. I'm Jordan. It's Monday, August 3rd, 2026. Today we're walking through one real listing on the market right now. Here's the business. It's a car wash in Tracy, California, out in the Central Valley, about an hour east of the Bay Area. It's been operating since 2018, so call it 8 years under the current setup. The asking price is $550,000. The listed seller's discretionary earnings, the cash flow to an owner after add-backs, is $102,000 a year. This one comes off a current biz-buy-sell listing, and the employee count isn't spelled out, which for a single-site wash usually means a light crew, maybe a couple of attendants, sometimes an owner running the counter. Hold on to that gap because it matters when we get to the money. Let's do the math out loud. Asking price of $550,000 divided by SDE of $102,000 gives you a multiple of about 5.4 times. Now, car washes are a strange animal on multiples because a lot of the value often sits in the real estate underneath, not the cash flow. When you're buying a single site wash on the earnings alone, on a lease pad, you typically expect something in the range of 3 to 4.5 times SDE. 5.4 is on the high end. So right away, the price is leaning rich unless there's real estate or a membership base doing work we can't see in the headline. Now the financing, because this is where the deal lives or dies. Say you go the SBA 7A route, which is the standard path for a Main Street acquisition like this. 10% down on $550,000 is $55,000 out of your pocket at closing. That leaves you financing $495,000. At 9.3% over a 10-year term, your payment runs about $6,351 a month. Annualize that, and your debt service is roughly $76,213 a year. Here's the part you cannot talk yourself out of. The business throws off $102,000 in SDE. Take away $76,000 of debt service, and you're left with about $25,787. That's what's left to pay yourself, to cover surprise repairs, and to sit as your cushion if a slow month hits. $25,000. For a full-time owner who's also probably working the site, that is not a living and it is not a margin of safety. So let's talk about the 3 things you chase in due diligence before this even becomes a conversation. First, the dirt. Is the real estate owned and included, or are you leasing the pad? At this price on this cash flow, the lease is the whole ball game. You need the exact remaining term, the renewal options, and every rent escalator written into it. One rent bump on a business earning $102,000 can erase your entire post-debt cushion overnight. Second, the equipment. A car wash is a building full of pumps, motors, conveyor gear, and a water reclaim system, and all of it wears out. You want the age of the tunnel or in-bay equipment, the maintenance logs, and an honest read on what's about to need replacing. Deferred maintenance here is a bill that lands on the new owner, and it's rarely small. Third, the revenue mix. How much of that top line is unlimited wash membership that recurs every month versus one-and-done drive-up traffic? Membership counts, churn, and pricing tell you whether this cash flow is durable or whether it walks away the first time a competitor opens down the road. And while you're in there, pin down whether that SDE includes a full add back for the owner's own labor. Because if it does, your real economic earnings are lower than the number on the page. That last point ties to the yellow flags. The multiple is high for the format, the SDE is thin, and the listing is quiet on both staffing and real estate. None of that is disqualifying on its own. Together, they tell you the headline number is doing a lot of the selling. So here's the verdict. This is a pass, not because car washes are bad businesses, but because at $550,000 against $102,000 in SDE, the SBA math leaves you roughly $25,000 a year after debt service, and that is too little room to absorb one bad quarter or one dead pump. The single biggest reason the price doesn't leave you paid, and the one question to put to the broker before anything else, is the real estate included in the $550,000, or are you buying a business on a leased pad? And if it's leased, what's the exact remaining term and every rent escalator in it? The answer either reframes this whole deal or confirms the pass. That's it for Monday. Find all of Main Street Media's shows wherever you listen. Subscribe, leave a review, and I'll see you Thursday for an operator story.